discussion today. Basically the pillars of Islam, as-salah. Yeah, I believe this is also very familiar to all of you, but this is just as a reminder. Yeah. So there are 10 conditions of doing salat. Number 1, that person must be a Muslim, Islam, and then akil, and also mubayyid, sane. Okay, that's why an insane person, okay, it is not wajib for him to perform the salat. Okay, so next time if you find any insane person, you shouldn't force him to do salat. Okay, okay, and then the purity from the 2 ritual impurities. Okay, a minor ritual impurity is that which makes wudu wajib, and a major impurity is that which makes bath wajib. Okay, you know this, we call it minor and major hadath. Yeah, and then purity of the clothing, the body, and the place of performing salat. And this is also very important. So before we perform our salat, we should ensure that our clothes is pure. I'm not talking about clean here. Your clothes might be clean, but it's not necessarily that it is pure. Okay. Alright, so one salat is invalid if one is holding the end of a rope connected with something impurity. Okay, you have the mark of impurity on the hand, for example. So one salat is valid if performed on the pure portion of a rug which is affected with some impurity. Let's say for example you have sajadah, right? And this sajadah, some portion of the sajadah is impure, but the other portion is pure. So you must choose, or you must move to the pure part, and your salat is considered valid. Yeah. So even if the rug or bed move when one move, yeah, you should move. When the rug move, you should move. When the rug move, you should move. Okay, or when, for example, the impurity, like for example the child's urine, right? Or the urine, for example, which is impure, and this urine is, what we call it, flowing, right? So it moves. So as it moves, you must move. As it moves, you must move. Okay. You must try to
even
avoid.
while there's salat.
Yes. Yeah. But your movement must not be more than 3 times at one particular, in one particular time. Yeah. So if you have done the 3 movement, 1, 2, 3, and then you should pause for a moment, and then 1, 2, 3. So the moment of pause is as long as Subhanallah, Walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, and then you can start moving. Yeah. Alright. And then the next one, the principle is that it is not permissible for the person in salat to support or carry any impurity, but it is permissible for him to be supported by it, provided he is not in direct contact with the impurity. So I hope you understand this. You cannot carry the impurity. Your clothes must be pure. But if the place that you are going to perform salat is not pure, some portion of it is not pure, you are still allowed to do it, but you have to choose, or you have to move to the pure part. Okay? Alright. And number 5, covering the aura or the private part. This is what I mentioned before. In Islam, the term private part is very specific. You know, in our general conversation, when we speak about private part, we always refer to the part that you all know. Okay? to just that particular part. But when we talk about Islam, private part refers to aura. Okay, so for women, for example, the only parts which are not what we call it, which are not private for you, is your face together with your hand. And the rest of the body part is considered private part. The same thing with men. Okay, anything which beyond what we call it the navel and the knee, they are not considered a private part. Yeah? Alright. So it is a necessary condition that the clothing prevents the skin from being exposed and covers the aura from all sides, including from the above side. Yeah? It is not necessary to cover the aura from the below side. Yeah? A thin garment through which the color of skin is visible is not sufficient. So what we call it, the fabric must not be too thin. It must not be transparent. Yeah. And then the aura of a man generally, and that of a woman in salat, is the area between the navel and the knee, in general. Okay. Alright. But the aura of a woman in salat includes the whole body except the face and the 2 palms. Okay. It's not even hand actually, it's the palms. Yeah. And then the aura of a woman and that of a woman in the presence of a stranger is in the entire body. Okay, the aura of a woman together with another woman with the presence of stranger is the entire body except the face and the palm. Understand that? Okay. Let's say when you go to the masjid, right, and then you perform the salat, there are many strangers in front, they're the men. So your, what we call it, your aura is for the entire body. Of course in salat for the entire body lah. But let's say not in salat, your aura is the entire body with the presence of stranger. Yeah? And the aura of a woman in the presence of a mahram, an unmarriageable kin or woman, is area between the navel and the knee. but this is actually very debatable among ulama. Okay, the general principle is that between the navel and the knee, but some other ulama say that you must cover what we call it, the we call it. It is only the obvious aurah that can be shown. Okay, because navel and knee means you don't even have to put on shirt. Okay, but it is actually the general principle. You must cover the it is okay for you not to cover the obvious part of the body, like the hands, for example, like the hair. It is very obvious, but something that people always cover in general should be covered. Okay, got it. Alright. Okay, number 6, facing the Qibla. This is a necessary condition for the 5 obligatory salat, which must be performed while facing the proper direction of Qibla. Whether a person is a musafir, traveller, a mukim, non-traveller, riding in a vehicle or not, the musafir may perform salat without facing the direction of Qibla, provided that he has no idea where is Qibla. Okay, like on a what we call it, flight, for example, or you are traveling and you don't have any reference of the Qibla, so you can just do tawakal. But if you have the knowledge and if you have the capacity of finding the Qibla, so find the Qibla first. Yeah? Alright. The commencement of the time of Salat. Okay, a person must be certain about the commencement of the time of Salat. The beginning of the time by azan lah. When you heard the azan, is confirmed that the time has arrived. If a person is uncertain about the commencement of the time of Salat, which he has performed, that particular will not be correct, even if the Salat was in fact carried out in its required time, unless he applies his ijtihad to determine the time of Salat, in which case it will be correct. Understand or not?
No.
Okay, let's say for example you didn't hear the azan, and you are in a place in which hearing or listening to azan is basically impossible. You are in the jungle, for example. Okay? And then you have to make your own ijtihad. You have no watch, for example, so you can make your own ijtihad. Okay, for example, based on the position of the sun, and you are certain, so you can perform the salat. But if you don't have the capacity of doing salat, you can just do it. But whenever you find out you are wrong, you have to read. Yeah, understand that? Okay. So if he applies ijtihad and the salat was carried out before or after the time of the salat will be performed, will be considered a qada salat. If he has qada salat, it is responsibility. Otherwise, it will be considered a nafal salat. Salat sunnah. Nawafil. It's the jama', it's the plural. Yeah. Just like whatever I mentioned just now. Yeah. The sentences here are quite difficult. Okay, knowledge of it being fardu or being obligatory. You must know how to perform the salat. Okay, and salat cannot be innovated, cannot be created, or cannot be added, or it cannot be what we call it deducted. Yeah. So not to regard any of his fardu act as sunnah. A person's salat is not invalidated if he thinks that all the action in salat are fardu. Okay. For your information, not all action in salat are fardu. Not all action in salat are wajib. Let's say for example, doing this takbir before you do the ruku or what we call it the sujud, even putting your hand like this is not wajib. Okay? But if you consider that as wajib, it's okay. Okay? But if you consider the wajib as sunnah, that's not okay. That will invalidate the salat. Which means you didn't do it. You didn't do the rukun. For example, takbiratul ihram, you didn't do it. It is rukun, right? It is wajib. So your salat will be invalid. Yeah? Okay, to abstain from those factors that nullifies the salat. The valid excuses for delaying the salat from its prescribed time are two. Yeah, number 1, sleep. A person was asleep before the time of salat commenced and remained asleep until the time ended. When any salat is due but not yet performed, and one wishes to lie down for a while, and he is certain to awaken in time to carry out this duty, it will be makruh for him to sleep or lie down. Okay? However, if he is not certain as to whether he will wake up in time or not, it is haram. When you know, for example, the time it is only 5 minutes before Maghrib, for example, and you know if you sleep, it is not certain that you will be awake in time. So it is haram for you to sleep. But if you know you will be awake in time or on time, so it is makruh. So you still can do it, but Allah hates it, makruh. It is hated by Allah. Yeah. And number 2 is forgetfulness. A person forgot that he did not perform the solat and only remembered after the time of solat expired. So this should not be due to unmindfulness, due to engrossment in playing games, etc., in which case he will be sinful. Okay? It's not because you are doing something else, but you really forget because you really forget during that time. Not because you are busy and doing under worldly enjoyment, for example. Yeah? Alright, any question? Okay. Let's go to this one. It's very simple. Okay, I call it the value of words in Islam. Yeah? Okay, the importance of communication in Islam. Okay, there is one hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, an Abi Ruqayyah Tamim ad-Dari radhiyallahu anhu, anna Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam qala, ad-dinu nasiha. Okay, Prophet mentioned in one of the hadiths, ad-dinu nasiha. Religion is a nasiha. Religion is a type of advice. Okay, kulna liman. And the Sahaba, the companion of the Prophet, asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for whom, ya Rasulullah? This advice is for whom? And qala, and Rasulullah answered, lillahi wa li kitabihi wa li rasulihi wa li a'immatil muslimin wa ammatihim. So Prophet said this nasiha is lillah, is for Allah, and this nasiha wa li kitabihi is for the Quran, wa li rasulihi, and for the Rasul, wa li a'immatil muslimin, and for the leaders of Muslim, wa ammatihim, and for the public of Muslim, the Muslim public, the lay person. Yeah? Alright. So nasiha has two meaning here. The first nasiha, when we speak about nasiha to Allah, nasiha towards the Quran and also the Prophet, it refers to the obedience. But the second meaning of nasiha, okay, it refers to the word nasaha in Arabic means to patch up the torn up cloth. You know, when you have one cloth, for example, it is torn up, so you patch it up. Okay, meaning that you have to correct each other. And who you should correct? A'immah Muslimin, the leaders of Muslim, and wa'amati, the awam people, the public of Muslim. Yeah? So advice is delivered through communication. Yeah? Communication must bring goodness, improvement, and connection, since nasiha means to patch up the torn up cloth. So when you know there is friction between you and your friend, you must do the nasiha. And that's why there are some ulama say dakwah is only meant for non-Muslim. Because for Muslim it is called nasiha. Because dakwah literally means invite. You cannot invite Muslim because Muslim are already inside your circle. Yeah? Alright. And then the methods of communication in Islam, number 1, it is called qawlan sadida. If you are familiar with the Quran, then this word is appeared many times in the Quran. Okay? Qawlan sadida means a truthful and firm speech. So that's why when you say something truthful to people, you must be firm. Okay? Prophet say, deliver the truth although it is painful. You have to say the truth. Yeah? So based on the fact and not assumption and also speculation, it must be truthful and then you can be firm. If it is not truthful, you are not confident, then you shouldn't be firm. Yeah? And then this is to avoid misunderstanding and lies. And Allah mentioned in the Quran, وَلْيَخْشَى الَّذِينَ لَوْ تَرَكُوا مِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّةٌ ضِعَافًا خَافُوا عَلَيْهِمْ فَلْيَتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَلْيَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. So you can say the word قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. Allah mentioned, and let those executors and guardians fear injustice as if they themselves had left weak offspring behind and feared for them. So let them fear Allah and speak words of appropriate truth. Yeah? So this is how we communicate in Islam. The second method of communication is called qawlan baligha. Okay? An accurate and effective delivery of speech. Yeah? So that's why I mentioned before, actually to be a good speaker for all Muslims is not an option. Yeah? Because the responsibility of doing da'wah is actually on everybody's shoulder. And you must deliver the da'wah in accurate and effective manner. Yeah? Addressing the issue directly. Okay, don't beat around the bushes. Just go straight to the point. Yeah? To avoid misunderstanding and time wasting. Yeah? And Allah mentioned in the Quran, Ulaika alladhina ya'lamullah ma fi qulubihim fa'a'rid anhum wa'izuhum wa kullahum fi anfusihim qawlan baligha. Yeah? Allah mentioned those are the ones of whom Allah knows what is in their hearts, so turn away from them but admonish them and address them in plain terms about their souls. Meaning to say, you should say something that can directly hit someone's heart and soul. So that is the effective delivery. Yeah. Number 3 is qawlan ma'rufa. Yeah. A good and gentle speech, not angry. A good and gentle speech. Yeah. It contains benefits and virtues, the maslahah for people. Yeah. To avoid useless and empty talks. This is called laghaw and stuff. So whatever you speak, it must contain some benefit. It must contain the virtues, and it can improve the people around you. Okay. There is one very interesting hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. Here Prophet mentioned in the hadith, you know, every Muslim is living on the religion of his friend. Meaning to say, your friend is going to influence you so much. You know, if you sit down with a friend who constantly talk about, you know, do empty talks, then you will do empty talks, you know, all the times. But if you are somehow around the people, you know, who try to constantly improve each other, who try to empower each other, you know, and speak something very beneficial, then you are going to get the benefit as well. Okay? And Prophet give the analogy. Prophet say what? This is like the condition of finding BFF in Islam. If you want to find BFF, then these are the regulations. Number 1, must not be a laghaw person. Okay? And Prophet say what? The analogy of people, okay, who choose the right BFF, okay, is someone who is friend with the seller of the perfume seller. Okay? You will somehow get the scent of the perfume. Okay? But if you choose the bad BFF, the analogy is like whenever you are friend with the blacksmith, you will get the spark of the fire from when he was, you know, when he hit the iron. And it's going to ruin your shirt. Yeah? Alright. And Allah mentioned in the Quran, وَلَا تُؤْتُوا السُّفَهَاءَ أَمْوَالَكُمُ الَّتِي جَعَلَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ قِيَامًا وَارْزُقُوهُمْ فِيهَا وَاكْسُوهُمْ وَقُولُوا لَهُمْ قَوْلًا مَعْرُوفًا. Allah mentioned, and do not give the weak-minded your property. See? When you want to give amanah to someone, make sure that person is not safi. You know what is safi? Sufaha means the fool or the weak-minded. Yeah? Which Allah has made a means of sustenance for you, but provide for them with it and clothe them and speak to them the words of appropriate kindness. Yeah? Number 4, qawlan karima. Yeah? A gentle and respectful speech. Yeah? Addressing someone with his appropriate name. This is also very important in Islam. The Prophet mentioned in the hadith, you know, during the day of judgment, a Muslim will be addressed by Allah with the names that they love. But the non-Muslim, those who disobey Allah, will be addressed or will be called with the names that they hate the most. So you shouldn't call your friend with the name that he doesn't like it. Yeah? Alright. And then this is to avoid impoliteness and disrespectfulness. Yeah, Allah mentioned in the Quran, وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Until the end of the ayat, you can see the word qawlan karima. Yeah? And your Lord has decreed that you not worship except Him, and to parents do good treatment. Whether one or both of them reach old age, while with you, say not to them so much as oof, and do not repel them, but speak to them a noble words. Particularly when you speak to your parents, you must use a gentle and respectful speech. Yeah? And then qawlan layyina. This is also very important, particularly when you want to give people advice. Yeah? It's called a gentle and appropriate speech. Correcting a person indirectly with the use of analogy and syllogism. You don't go and say directly, hey, you do this wrong, you go to hell. No. You give the analogy. The indirect, we call it the qiyas. Qiyas is syllogism. Yeah? And to avoid broken heart, anger and grudge. Yeah? Allah mentioned in the Quran, فَقُولَ لَهُ قَوْلًا لَيِّنًا لَعَلَّهُ يَتَذَكَّرُ أَوْ يَخْشَىٰ. Allah mentioned to Prophet Musa and also his brother Harun or Aaron, and Allah mentioned, and speak to him, the Pharaoh, the Fir'aun, with gentle speech. Even when you speak to Fir'aun, you must be gentle. There is no Fir'aun here, right? Yes.
What if someone doesn't understand indirect?
Then you can use another method. Given just now, you can use qawlan karima, you can use qawlan sadida. Yeah, there are 6 options at least.
Okay.
Yeah, alright. 6 or 5. 6. Yeah. Alright. Perhaps he may be reminded of fear. Yeah. The last one, number 6, qawlan maysura. Yeah. An easy and understandable speech. It must contain clear message. Yeah. This is to avoid misunderstanding. And Allah mentioned in the Quran, wa imma tu'ridanna anhum ibtigha'a rahmatin min rabbik tarjuha faqul lahum qawlan maysura. Yeah. And if you must turn away from the needy, awaiting mercy from your Lord, which you expect, then speak to them a gentle. Yeah. Okay. So this is the conclusion. Yeah, Prophet mentioned in one of the hadiths, may yadmanna li ma baina lihyaihi wa ma baina rijlaihi adman lahul jannah. Prophet said, whoever guarantees to me to preserve what is between his beard, meaning your mouth, and what is between the leg, meaning the private part, I will guarantee for him Jannah. And Prophet said the first thing to be preserved is the mouth. Yeah. And number 2, man kana yu'min billah wal yawmil akhir falyaqul khairan aw liyasmut. Prophet said, whoever believes in Allah in the last day, he will speak only good and beneficial things. Otherwise, he will remain silent. Yeah. Alright. And the last one, inna rajulan sa'ala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ayyul muslimina khairan qala man salima al-muslimun min lisanihi wa yadihi. Yep. And one man, came to Rasulullah and asked question, who is the best Muslim? Rasulullah said the best Muslim who is to whom another Muslim is safe from his mouth and his hand. Okay, the best Muslim is to whom another Muslim is safe from his mouth and his hand. Yeah. First one, mouth. Yeah. Alright. And then thank you so much. Allah alam. Jazakumullah. Yeah, I hope this is beneficial for us. Yeah. So we can we can ensure whatever contains only good message, and for the purpose of giving improvement or empowering people. Yeah, inshallah. So thank you so much. Let us go to our next agenda, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
This is a very short one. How can clothes be clean and impure at the same time?
For example, the alcohol. When you get out some mark of the alcohol,
I see.
it is clean, right? It is not dirty.
It's not really okay.
But alcohol is considered najis. It is not pure.
That means it's perfume.
It depends on what type of alcohol and also the percentage of the alcohol.
Nice.
Okay, and of course the perfume with alcohol, is debatable among ulama. Okay, some ulama say you can use it, but don't use it during the solat. Yeah, some ulama say you can use it, provided that the amount must not exceed certain limit. Yeah. But it's best for us not to use it, because we have a lot of other, what we call it, substitute now. Yeah.